Hello, and welcome back to Retired Happy. This is your Retired Happy friend Carolyn from Mississippi, and I'm so glad you came to visit at my house today. This is where we talk about things that will give us joy and happiness in retirement, things that give us a purpose and make us feel fulfilled and make us feel like we're still accomplishing something at this time in our life. We talk about how to live frugally, how to grocery shop, and share things that mean things to us at this stage in our life. So I want to thank every one of you who responded to the last video, the last visit we had when I was talking about makeup. And I got a lot of suggestions and a lot of comments and replies. So thank you everyone for sending me your suggestions and what you use. Today we're going to be cooking, and I'm going to be in the kitchen, and it's going to be a really good meal. And it is part of frugal living in retirement. I'm going to take one of the packs of hamburger meat that I believe it ended up being about 2/3 of a pound of hamburger meat, and I'm going to make two different meals from it. One will be the meatballs and pasta, the other one will be the stuffed peppers, and you can either put that over pasta or over rice. I put it over rice, so I'll be sharing that with you. And I want to share with you my thankful for today is the beautiful sunset that we had yesterday. The days are getting a little bit shorter, so I have to walk Maizie a little bit sooner. We have to start walking about 6:15 now, because by the time we get back from walking, and usually I have to water my pot plants because it's so hot and still so dry. So the things that I want to keep alive in my flower pots, I have to water probably every other day. So yesterday the sun had already gone down behind the trees, and we had the most beautiful sunset. So thank you, Lord, for the beautiful sunsets that you send us. So that brings me to the good word for today, which is Psalm 19:1. The heavens declare the glories of the Lord, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Well, it was showing yesterday afternoon beautiful colors, pinks, dark pink, then it turned into orange and yellow. So at the end of this little visit, I'm going to post the pictures that Maizie and I took. So stay tuned for that at the end. It'll be at the end of Maizie's walk, because it was just as we were returning home, and we stayed out a little bit longer just so I could enjoy that beautiful, beautiful sunset. So in answer to a lot of the questions that I got last time on the makeup and the foundation, I had a lot of suggestions for the Revlon Color Stay. And for the CoverGirl, there was a CoverGirl Ageless that was recommended a lot. There was another one, a Neutrogena, I think, that was recommended a lot. But I went to the store and I was comparing the CoverGirl Ageless and the Revlon Color Stay. So this is the one I decided on, and it's the one I put on this morning, and I do like this. This went on creamy, it went on smooth. It says Revlon Color Stay, 24 hours long wear makeup. It has SPF 20 and hyaluronic acid and 24-hour hydration. So this is the one that I decided on. So I'm getting quite a collection of foundation, and eventually, there, I think you can see that pretty well. But I like the color, I like the feel, I like the texture, and I like the way it went on. So let me know what you think about that. Now, those of you who recommended the CoverGirl Ageless, when I saw it, I had to go to Walgreens because Kroger does not carry any Revlon products. So Revlon also makes the lipstick that I like. but the CoverGirl Ageless that I saw looked like had little beads or little bubbles in it. So let me know if that's the one that you use, because I couldn't quite figure out without buying it and trying it how that was going to go on and how that worked. So there's a lot more selection in CoverGirl than there used to be when I was a teenager and I used CoverGirl all the time. So I also got my new Revlon lipstick. And some of you had asked the color of the lipstick that I was wearing one day, and this is it. I had to get a new tube of it. Revlon Coffee Bean, number 300. So this is the color that I transitioned to in the fall, going with a little bit more neutral colors and brown. I can't use any orange or anything. Usually I stay away from corals, but I do like a lot of mauves and pinks. So that's what I got to hopefully solve my foundation problems. So let me know what you think. I think it looks good. I like it. I was really disappointed in the e.l.f. that was the glow. Yeah, I glowed. My whole face glowed with that. So I think I told you I won't be using that again, except maybe if I want my nose to show or glow. Okay, now the other thing I was going to share with you, I finished my knitted scarf, so now I'm ready to start on my socks. So I went by Beverly's shop this morning. Her shop is the Southern Needle, and it's in Ridgeland on Highway 51, and that's where I got my pattern for my scarf. So I went by and I told her I'm ready to start my socks. And this is a pattern for socks that I got off my YouTube channel that I have been watching for a long time. It's the Vanilla Sock pattern, and it's by Crochet Object. Now this lady, her name is Mo, and she lives in Israel, and I have been following her channel for long time. So I've got her pattern. I bought it off of the Etsy shop, and she gave what she needed on it. So I've got my needles, and I went by Beverly's. I got yarn and I got needles. So this afternoon when I get through posting all of this visit, I'm going to start on my socks. So these are the needles that I got, the knitting needles, and they are 2.75 US number 2 10-inch circular needles. And this is the yarn I got. I think that's pretty. I think that will be fun to wear. And what I told Beverly, I'm going to make this pair for me to learn how to make socks. And then if these turn out good and I like it, then I'll start on my son a pair, because he said he would wear them if I knit some for him. So this is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So this evening, that's one of the things I'm going to do, is cast on my stitches and start making socks. Now, I also told Beverly, and you can let me know, all of you experienced knitters, please let me know. I told her, I said, what I'm thinking about doing is just making some tube socks for me to learn how to do it, and as a learning process. And then after I make the tube socks, see if I can do the heel. So these are the instructions that Mo gives on how to do the heel. My color printer, I'm running low on color ink, so I apologize for that picture. It's not very good, but that's the reason. So she gives very good instructions, and I'm looking forward to getting started on it. But Beverly kind of agreed with me. I'm not sure I'm ready for the heel turn, but when I get to that point, if I decide I want to tackle the heel turn, I can go back up to Beverly's shop and she'll help me figure out all of that. The heel turn, the gusset, gusset decreases, I'm not sure about all that yet. So this is going to be a challenge, and it's going to be something to challenge my brain and my mind, but I'm looking forward to it. And these are the toe instructions. So if you're interested in this pattern, her shop is Crochet Object, and she is on Etsy. She has an Etsy shop, and she has a lot of crochet and knit patterns on her shop, and I just enjoy watching her. She's a very experienced knitter and crocheter. She does both knitting and crochet, and she has a really cute tee that she made, Emma tee, that is crocheted, and then the binding, the neck and the bottom is knit. So she's very creative. So I'm going to get started in the kitchen, let you go with me, and I'll show you how I'm going to use the hamburger meat. I got started making the meatballs, and for just me, I made the recipe where it wouldn't be, where I wouldn't have a lot left over. And I still have enough that I'm going to share with my neighbor down the street. She shares with me and I share with her, so that way we get a variety of food to eat. But the meatballs, and then I used the other half, which it was a 2/3 pound package, so I used 1/3 for the meatball and 1/3 for the stuffing for the sweet peppers. And they are so good, so good. So let me know what you think about my sock pattern. Let me know what you think about the meatballs and pasta and the stuffed peppers. And let me know what you think about the sunset. Are you having beautiful sunsets in your area? I'm ready for fall. The temperature is still very warm here, and we are very dry. So we're ready for some rain and ready for some cool temps. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate every one of your likes, every one of your comments. It means the world to me. And I just look forward to hearing where you're watching from, where you are. And I'm so thankful for YouTube and my channel and all of you who have just expanded my world tremendously and given me a whole new community of friends in this retired journey. Today I'm getting ready to make the meatballs. So we're going to check out this recipe. It's going to be really, really, really good. And I'm going to put it over pasta. I could put it over rice, but this time I'm going to put it over pasta. So we'll get started. I have one of the packs of hamburger meat that I got at the grocery store, and I divided that 2 pounds of hamburger meat into 3 different packages. So this is one, so it's approximately, I'd say, between 1/2 and 2/3 of a pound. So I have my meat in my bowl, getting ready to make up the meatballs. While I'm making the meatballs, I'm going to go ahead and put this pasta sauce on to cook. So it is the pasta sauce that I had when I made my ravioli. And I had that already in the refrigerator. So I have that in my boiler. And to that, I'm going to dice and chop up some of the sweet peppers that I got. Let that start cooking. And I'm going to put some onion and some of my basil out of my backyard. I'll probably add a little bit more garlic to it too. Now I have one of each of the red peppers, the orange pepper, and the yellow sweet peppers. So I cut them in slices and then cut them in half. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the sauce and let that start simmering down and get soft. Next I'm going to add the onion and a little bit more garlic. Since I like my sauce a little bit chunky, I'm leaving my peppers and my onion in a little bit, kind of bite-sized pieces. And now I have the garlic. This is some jar garlic. I had put some whole garlic cloves in my jar when I had some fresh garlic. So I'm going to add 1 clove and a little bit of the diced and stir that around, bring it to a boil, and let it start simmering and let all those peppers get really soft and tender. Now for the meatballs, I have the package. This is approximately 1/3 pound of the hamburger meat. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of the Parmesan Romano cheese, about a tablespoon of the dried parsley flakes, about 6 crackers, and basil, and 1 egg. So I'm going to chop that, add the onion and all of that, and mix up the meatballs. The egg, the garlic, and I'm going to dice the onion a little bit finer to go in the meatballs, because I do want that fine. Next, I'll crush the saltine crackers, put that in, along with the dried parsley and the dried basil. And then it will be time to mix up the meatballs. I have the basil, and this is basil that I dried out of my little backyard. So I could use fresh basil, but I'm going to go ahead and use my dried basil. Put that in, and parsley. And now the Parmesan Romano cheese. Okay, now I'm ready to go ahead and start mixing that up, and I'll make the meatballs. Meanwhile, the sauce is bubbling and boiling on the burner. And this is really the best way to just go ahead and mix your meatballs. Have the pepper, just went in, and the salt. Get a good pinch of the salt, and I do go sparingly on my salt just because of my diet. So you can salt it to taste and pepper it to taste. And I'm not going to mix and over mix it, because that makes our meat tough. This is 6 crackers. I'm going to finely crush and get that mixed up in the meat. This is going to be a really good fall lunch. And I can't wait to get it over the pasta and put the marinara sauce over it. So now I'm going to mix this just enough to get it all mixed in together, and then let it sit a few minutes, then let the flavors all get in with those crackers while the sauce is cooking. Okay. Now the sauce has been simmering for about 45 minutes, and the peppers have gotten very soft and tender. So I'm going to turn the heat on the burner down a little bit and go ahead and start adding the meatballs. And I'm going to let the meatballs cook while the peppers continue to soften. And I am going to add a little bit more water. My sauce is boiling down and it's getting a little bit too thick, so I'm going to add a little bit more water, because the meatballs are starting out raw, so they are going to have to cook in the sauce. Now, one way I could do this, but I'm not going to do it today, but I could go ahead and make the meatballs, put them on a baking sheet, and let them bake. But today I'm going to just make the meatballs, drop them down in the sauce, and let it all cook together. Now, if you noticed on the back of the counter when I was chopping a bowl of rice, I'm also making Maizie's food today, because she is out of the last cooking. So what I'm making for Maizie today, I have a chicken leg and the boiler right here on the side boiling, and in the chicken I fixed the rice so I could have the rice to make the for another recipe. So the rice will go in with her chicken leg. I have some carrots. I'm going to put cauliflower in it, and probably some green peas, and a boiled egg, and a little bit of oil, cooking oil, probably avocado oil or some vegetable oil. So we've got a lot going on in the kitchen today, and it smells so good. And when the meatballs start getting done, I will go ahead and put my pasta on to cook. And the boiler right back there on the back of the stove is ready for the pasta to cook. I'm making small meatballs so they will cook quickly. Make your meatballs however big you want them. Some people like really big meatballs. And of course, the bigger the meatballs are, the longer they have to cook if you're putting it in the sauce like I'm doing. Now I have this much of the meat left over, and I really have as many meatballs as I would like to have in my pan. So I have a really good amount for just me. So I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to put the rest of this meat in meatballs. I'm going to use the rest of that meat to put my rice in to make my stuffed peppers. So I have my stuffed peppers out on the counter. I'm going to mix up my filling and go ahead and get those on to cook while I'm in the kitchen cooking today. I'll have several meals at one cooking, and they'll be ready when I need it. Over the lid on the Dutch oven and let that simmer and let my meatballs cook. Maizie and I are ready for lunch. It's smelling so good. Now everything is finished cooking. It's been right at an hour since we started everything because the sauce had to cook and the peppers in the sauce had to soften and mix into the sauce. So now I'm getting ready to serve up the plate, and I'm going to show you Maizie's food. While I've been cooking, I have Maizie's next week cooked. So this is Maizie's food. This time I used 1 chicken leg. I had chopped up the cauliflower, chopped up the carrots till they're soft. I have green peas. I added the rice, some vegetable oil, and 1 egg, and I stirred the egg up until it cooked. So now Maizie's ready to eat, and I'll show you my plate. So I have the spring salad on the side of my plate with some little bites of tomato, the pasta with the marinara sauce, the meatballs. I sprinkled a little bit of the Romano cheese on top of it. So I'm ready to sit down and eat. Maizie's been patiently waiting, and she's ready to eat. So the house smells so good with the tomato sauce cooking and the meatballs. And it's going to be so nutritious because of all the vegetables, the red and the yellow, the peppers, the tomatoes, the garlic, the meatball. I hope you try this recipe. Now I'm almost through cooking for today. So with the rest of the meat, I didn't need all that meat that I had out, which was about approximately 2/3 of a pound. So I made my small meatballs, put them in my meat sauce, had that with my pasta for lunch, and then the remaining, approximately 1/3 of that meat mixture. So I added the rice, and I did go ahead and add some already bought prepared Italian seasoning, since this is going into my peppers. So I have my peppers stuffed. I cut them in half, took the seeds all out, the stems. I didn't have any green peppers in the package, so this is all yellow, orange, and red peppers. So now the peppers are stuffed. I'm going to put them in the oven to bake. And I do have some extra sauce. I don't have enough extra sauce for all the peppers, but after the peppers are cooked, I'm going to put them in plastic Ziploc and put them in the freezer for meals later on this fall. So when I do get ready to take those out, I have some pasta sauce, already prepared pasta sauce in my pantry that I'll open and use that to go over the peppers. But the ones I'm going to leave out to eat right now, I'm going to put some grated mozzarella cheese on top of it when I get ready to bake it. So these are going in the oven. They're going in at 375, and we'll see how long they cook. I'm guessing probably 30 minutes. Well, these are the finished peppers, and I have 3, 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 10 stuffed peppers. So what I put on top of them, this is the slices of the bar mozzarella cheese, and I just cut little slices and then put it on top of the peppers after they had baked and stuck it back in the oven so the cheese could melt on top. Now my peppers baked for 40 minutes at 375. So this is going to be another meal using the same ingredients but a different way. So I'm just stretching my food dollars and being creative. Now I'm finished cooking with the peppers and the pasta and the rice. So I'm going to show you the second dish. Now the first dish we had was with the pasta, the meatballs, and the marinara sauce. So this time it's going to be the stuffed peppers, the rice, and a side salad of the spring greens and the tomatoes. And I got the package of spring greens at the grocery store. This was on my shopping trip for October. So this is the package of spring mix, the lettuces and the tomatoes, and this is plated up with the pepper. The stuffed pepper is right under the basil, and I put it over rice, a little side salad with the spring greens and tomatoes. This one I did an extra presentation with the rosemary. This is fresh rosemary out of my garden out back, and the fresh basil that also is out of my little flower garden. So this is going to be another wonderful meal. It's getting dark earlier now. It's only 6:30, but the sun has already gone behind the trees. So Maizie and I are out walking, and the skies are pretty color. The street lights are coming on. So I don't like the days getting shorter. We like long, sunny days. This is a pretty little rose bush that's still blooming. And it smells so good every time Maizie and I walk by it. Oh, Maizie. Come on, let's go. What do you see, huh? What do you see? Come on, let's go home.